Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me is Sumit Pirji as we dissect the happenings around the world, the geopolitics. Let's first welcome Sumitji. Sumitji, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you?
Jai Shri Ram, Radhe Radhe, sir. All good and fine by your Ashirwad and Kripa. Lord Mahakal, Namaskaram to you and all the viewers, brothers and sisters across the world.
Thank you so much, Sumitji. We're going to talk about three topics, viewers. But first, a request to all of you to please like this video. And also, if you have not got your Sengol with enclosure, I think this wrapper is to try and keep it clean so that no dust picks up on the acrylic cover. So please, if you have not already got your copy of Sengol, do get it. It's going very, very fast, and I wanted to make sure that you are aware that we have them in supply and we'll be shipping them very soon. Thank you so much, Sumitji, for your support. You've always been, very, very heavily supporting us on this one, heartily supporting us. Thanks once again from the bottom of our hearts. All of us P Gurus, we're working very hard. A lot of things are happening. News alone takes a lot of time, but we are also trying to bring you meaningful Bharat Sanatani products. That's really what our USP is. Thank you so much, Sirji. So, Trump tariffs ka asli reason, Trump tariffs real reason, that there's a report by a investment company called Jefferies, and they have got something to say. Let's listen to Sumitji. He has dissected that report. I find it hard to believe, Sumitji, but over to you.
Namaskaram, sir. Sir, in the name of Bhagwan Shri Ganesha, who is the remover of all the obstacles, and let's take his name and start. Jefferies is a company which is based out of US. It's an American company. It was incorporated in 1962. So it's a pretty old company. It's not somebody who is a fly-by-night operator. It has offices across the world. It has few thousand employees. It last year did a revenue of around $8 billion, which is big, with a profit of $1.02 billion. So sizable, good money-making machine. And it is believed to be fairly independent and fairly attuned and principled company. I gave you a background. And by the way, it's not something which is an American phenomena. It has an office here in Mumbai. There's an office in Mumbai of this. So they understand India, and this for quite a few years now. They understand India. They know what is India. It's not somebody commenting on India who doesn't know where on map exactly the India is. They have a business here. Their skin is in the game. Now, there's a report which is issued by Jefferies. It makes a very sensational claim. The report has three sides. The first side is, he says, according to the report, all these tariffs on India, which on P Guru channel, we have been trying to put all the facts, figures, data, everything, and trying to say again and again and again and again, this is a personal bias, this is vendetta, this has nothing to do with logic and reason. This absolutely shakes and breaks all the logics of planet Earth. Now, Jeffrey says this is personal. Trump is pissed off with Modi ji. Trump does not like Modi ji. There are a couple of reasons for it, why it is happening. First, and the most sensational part, now by an American company, by an American report, no Bharat influencer, he says that Trump was not allowed to mediate. Wow. So this India-Pakistan whole ceasefire, I called him. This is all crap. Trump was not allowed to mediate. They clearly say that. Trump tried to mediate. Trump tried to get into the picture. JD Vance spoke to Modi ji. Then even the kind of Americans kind of told them Chinese are helping Pakistan to plan a big attack, and even China tried to warn Bharat, there's a big attack coming from Pakistan. We didn't bother. And Modi ji is completely right when he says, I told JD Vance, if they fire a goli, to hum gola chalayenge. If they fire a bullet, we'll fire a shell in the return. So basically, this all fiasco, and and look at the Donald Trump, he at least 35 times has claimed, I have told them, I have done this ceasefire, I'm going to do it again. There was a nuclear war was happening. And last 2 days back, there's a video testimony out, which he says, I spoke to Modi. I said, what the hell is happening? And I said, I'm going to tariff you. And their heads were spinning. And I said, okay, call me back in the morning. Within 5 hours, they called me in the watchdog. But on record, never ever he spoke to Modi ji. Right? And this all tariff tamasha, what we are seeing here, is because Trump was not allowed to mediate. Trump did not mediate. Trump did not speak to Modi ji. There was nothing between him and Donald Trump, anything to do with the mediation on the Indo-Pakistan war. And I don't know, was it heading to a nuclear conflict or not? But according to General Anil Chauhan and according to Shahbaz Sharif, it was not. So I don't know where Trump gets all these ideas from. So that is bluff number one. Called off. So I don't know what Trump has been claiming, what Caroline Levitt has been claiming, and what even good and gentlemen like Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth and all, why they've been claiming, why they've been made to toe that line is very unfortunate and is very demeaning in a way. It hurts the credibility of a nation and system. So you wanted to make a point?
Yeah, Sumitji, you have reason. You said two reasons. One is this one. What is the other reason?
Second, there are three reasons, sir. The second reason is now once Trump got spiked here, he was not allowed this mediation because it would have granted him a Nobel Prize, and he would have been seen the biggest, numero, trying to, solve those big ticket wars, and and he would say, oh, I am the one who kind of made it going, and all this is. Second thing, very important. Now, when this happened, he was claiming, we kept quiet, but after some time, we started giving it back. We started giving him back. Now, in the light of the current developments, what we have known, and it's a report out, I have more reasons to believe that what German publication and Times of India and some other publications have been claiming that possibly Modi ji never answered Trump's calls. That looks quite logical. Now, what is the second reason? Second reason is when this happened, then the trade deal was happening. When trade deal was happening, now Trump had this grudge. He had this vendetta in his mind. He said, okay, Modi, you don't let me enter your politics. You don't let me mediate because Bharat has a policy of no mediation. Has, and will continue to have. Will not anybody let mediate. So Trump wanted to mediate, and then it's like I put my hold, it's like there's a running bus. I put my 1 foot on the bus, get in the bus, eventually I'll get the seat, and one day I may be even in the driver's seat. That was a bigger plan. So Modi never let it happen. So he was very pissed off with that. Now comes the trade deal. Now, if you look at the trade deal, again, there were a couple of sectors which were a red line for us. Before that, Americans were talking $500 million, $1 billion of revenue and offsetting China and all the good things. And I was also very happy about it, looking at the potential of it, because I will look for anything which is pro-Bharat. Then when this trade deal happened, there were a couple of sectors which Modi ji said, no, we are not talking on them. Now, if you look at the potential of these sectors, it is not very high in terms of dollars. It's very small for American business to come in terms of dollars. But the political impact of these sectors is very big. 25 crore farmers, few crore daily producers, and then SMEs and the small people who are in fishery business and the SMEs and the small traders, the quantum might become 25, 30, 40 crore people. So when it came to the life and livelihood of 40 crore people, Modi ji put his foot down, say, I'm not doing it. Then, now Trump has a double whammy. Here, you did not let me intervene. You didn't let me take the credit. I wanted to take some credit. Hindi mein kehte behti ganga mein haath dhona. I wanted to do that. You didn't let me that. You denied me that. And now in the trade deal, you are not willing to do that. You are not giving me those sectors because that would have given a leverage that India has succumbed to US. India has kneeled to Trump. Modi has traded off soil. And because Trump wanted these sectors, which India did not open in any of the trade deals. There were 16 trade deals in negotiation. We didn't open this sector in any of the trade deals. Because of the Trump's pressure, we have opened this sector. So if I don't get a win here, I'll get a win here. So you got blocked here. You got blocked here. Now Trump is fuming. He's saying, okay, you don't let me in here. You don't let me in here. And the third thing which happened is when this all thing was happened, India was calibrating its strategy, how to handle America, how not to handle. This is the month of June. There's a letter which comes from the president of China, Xi Jinping, to Draupadi Murmu ji. And the letter says that, ma'am, we want to reconcile our relations. And there have been things in the past which have not been pretty good, but we want to reconcile our relations. And India and China should stand together to the hegemonic powers of Donald Trump, which are not good. We should kind of make a united front. Letter was immediately passed to Prime Minister Modi. So what did Prime Minister Modi do? He kind of started warming up a little bit to China. And in the meanwhile, they were calibrating these things with US. So if they were reaching here with China, they were moving for this from US. Reaching here with China, moving this from US. So this calibration, and at the same time, one more relation was calibrated, also calibrated with Russia. So these things kind of started, and Americans got a sound about it. Obviously, they would have got this. There's no way they would have not got. So that was one more reason. So now you were kind of cozying up to China, which is the ultimate sword Trump can have. Now on the top of that, now there was this F-16 Hangle debacle, radars and all, and I've come to know something very sensational, which for the first time I'm talking on P Gurus, and there are a lot of people who have started talking on it, and it is more than what I thought was happened. during Operation Sindoor. Now there's a talk. I mean, there's no way I can validate it because I'm not Modi, neither I am Rajnath Singh, or neither I am General Chauhan. I'm neither of the three. So now, or neither is Mr. Iyer for that matter. Now, what has happened is that we knew that in Operation Sindoor, I've been telling you, we did something which pissed off Americans to hell. Noor Khan is okay, F-16 is okay, those radars are okay, a couple of Americans possibly got killed, that's okay. But what did we do? Now, there is a very solid talk that in Operation Sindoor, I knew that we blocked these PL-15s, Chinese. I've been stretching my neck out and we blocked Beidou signals. I've been very directly talking about it. Now, there is a talk using artificial intelligence. India somehow blocked the American satellites for some time. It was a very short span, but India blocked the American satellites. So it is believed that for the first time, using some formulation and some manipulation or whatever you call of AI, you were able to block the American satellites. American satellites have never been blocked so far. And with the AI, you could kind of give them some kind of a, you could show them some kind of a mirage to the satellites. That is what the thought is. So when this mirage was shown.
So Sumiji, we need to clarify it here a little bit, just so we understand, our viewers understand. When Sumiji says US satellites got blocked, my assumption is that from Pakistan, whatever information they were trying to access to the US satellites, that was blocked. I mean, US satellites were still functioning from anywhere else. It was just when Pakistan wanted some data, wasn't coming, right? Is that what you're saying?
Correct. The part which was concerning Operation Sindoor, whatever information, whatever things were happening, maybe there were some active links going on with the Noor Khan base, possibly. Maybe there were Americans were tracking what we are doing. Though Americans were giving us intelligence, but they were also tracking what we are doing. Because at the end of the day, they wanted to protect this Noor Khan base and all. So for some point of time, it is believed that and I've been telling you that we have been testing some very advanced weapons in Rajasthan. Now, the desert of Rajasthan, I mean. So there is a belief that for a short part of time, some satellite feeds were blocked. And the satellites did not get harm and all, you just blocked. And what the point here is that when you do it with the AI, it doesn't look like it is jammed. It is like you want satellite to see what you want it to see. It doesn't really see what's happening on the ground, but you want it to see what is happening. Now, it is believed to be, I think so far, nobody has been able to do it. Nobody has tried to do it, but somehow it looks like we have been able to do it. And that was the thing which pissed off, I think, Donald Trump the maximum, because satellites are not the eyes in the sky. They are your dominance, they are your power, they are your brute power. You can look at my economic development, my military development, my troop movement. You can counter anything and everything. And a lot of power which America gets is because of its high-tech intelligence and surveillance capabilities, which it developed. And they were, best in the world. Now, with these developments happening, what America got worried, not about F-16s only, not about those Lockheed Martin radars, not about those, various people which possibly, and not about the Noor Khan basis. If you could do this tomorrow, Russians will seriously look into it. And Chinese will definitely try to do it. Because if India could do it, then Russians and Chinese, it's a matter of time, they should be able to reach somewhere near. And you don't have to send
the way. India is the way.
It is not, sir, you have to understand. It's not a satellite. Okay, I throw in a missile, it will destroy the satellite. Then there's a big problem. You destroyed the satellite. I have not destroyed the satellite. I have blocked it for 35 minutes. The most crucial 35 minutes I wanted to block. I blocked it. And how did I block it? I didn't jam it. It's a different way of jamming. For those 35 minutes, your satellite was exactly showing you what we wanted them to show. Right? He said, okay, Noor Khan is all right. There are no Indian planes in the sky, everything. But really, it was completely opposite. So for 35 minutes, you had aankhon pe parda. Your eyes were blinded with a different curtain. That are the claims which are coming up, and that is where he really got pissed off. He said, "Nahi yaar, ye to bahut ho gaya." Now with that 2, 3, 4, then he said, "Okay, now I'm going to settle it." Now where is the proof? Where is the proof? I'll give you the proof also. Look, whatever Peter Navarro was talking is all crap. Sorry, it's all doesn't meet any logic. Even a kid going to a kindergarten will kind of debunk that logic and say, "Mr. Navarro, you have lost it." Now, Lindsey Graham is trying to do another damage control. He's saying, whatever happened to India is because you supported Putin, and now Brazil and China are going to face the same. It is all crap, because nobody is going to face the same. They would have already faced the same. Now, what has believed that the plan of Trump was get India on your side, crush China, When China is gone, then ultimately crush India as well. European Union is already fighting with Putin. Putin is fighting with Europe. There's a war going with Zelensky. So I have a lot of rivals. My rivals are China gone, India gone, Europe gone, and Putin. I have put in an endless war with Europe. So if out of the whole world, I'm the only numero uno who is left. So I'm going to rule the world, and nobody in Middle East and all has that power to take on America. Let's face it. Forget Iran and they're not even near. So these are the 3-4 of my competitors. I've taken care of everybody: Russia, India, China, and Europe. Sir, understand, Russia, India, China, and Europe. Sublateral. Everybody is fighting. Good. Keep on fighting. And I have this Sasta Jihadi called Pakistan, who is this cheapest Jihadi in the world. I'll use him to make sure the fight is on. And that is my umbrella to rule the world. Now, suddenly the alignment started changing. When India started in June warming up to China, America's got a sound of it. Then they also started recalibrating their strategy vis-a-vis China. So what we were not able to understand, why did they recalibrate their strategy vis-a-vis China? What happened? Because our strategy recalibration vis-a-vis China happened because we're seeing those headwinds from US. So we started recalibrating in June. They also started maybe in July. Somewhere around that, they started recalibrating. Now, I can't remember the name. There's one of the Trump's closest aide. He has put a picture of Prime Minister Modi. Sir, how is the picture? It's exactly like your picture. You're wearing a turban and tilak here. He has posted that picture of Prime Minister Modi. Now, that talks about that bias. That talks about who the hell is this man? He comes from he was this lower middle class background. His father was a tea vendor. He used to sell chai on a platform. Now, he did not let me intervene in the military matters. He didn't want me to take the credit. He didn't want me to do anything. He kind of denied me for everything. Then on the trade, he doesn't want to return us. He's warming up to China. His tech has destroyed my FCC.
I think this was stated by Navarro, Sergi. I think it was stated by Navarro.
Or I can't remember the name completely, so that's why I'm not taking it. There's a picture. There's a picture of Modi ji wearing a turban and then tilak. I mean, that talks about at most direct racial bias. I mean, Modi ji will have a billion pictures. You have picked up one picture of Modi where he kind of wears his religion on his sleeve, and that is where it is. So now this man is 100% religious. He's proud to be a Hindu. He carries his culture very well. That is another. That was the last nail in the coffin. So if you put
we got that tweet. Just 1 second. We are bringing that tweet up.
Yeah, sure. Please. I didn't remember.
Yeah, just 1 second. Huh? We'll get it even bigger. 1 second. Yeah. So.
ये देखो sir. Look, this picture talks bias. This talks about that hatred. This talks about that paranoia. This talks about how this man is so spiritually powerful and dharmically inclined. His dharma starts interfering your way of life. You wanted a person who will dress like you, who will ape like you, who will walk like you, who will talk like you. But instead looked at the other way and managed to like this road mama going in Delhi. This is Britain. Why does he need to tweet this picture? This is where
Suminji, this is in very poor taste. In my opinion, it is in very poor taste. Somewhere, Mumbai word satkela.
Correct. Atkamaji satakli.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of, this is something which is really, really atrocious. Now you add up all the things what I've been telling you. This is where this whole thing happens, and we were absolutely right on P-Gurus when we say it's all personal. You and me have been trying to put a lot of numbers there. We've been trying to get a lot of proof there, and we're trying to get a lot of things there. But nothing adds logic, because a lot of people are asking, Sumit bhai, kya keh rahe ho? I say, brother, I can say 2 plus 2 is 4. But if you say 2 plus 2 is 400, there's no logic. How do I counter it? Tomorrow you can say it's 4,000. I can have a logic around 4, but not around 4,000 or 40,000. I cannot counter it. That is what it looks to be. And let's tell our dear viewers one more thing. I mean, Sachin bhai forwarded an article to me, I think just before the show. Now there's a data out. Sir, the biggest supplier of Ukraine's diesel is Bharat. For the month of July, the maximum diesel, 15.5% of the diesel which Ukraine bought from Bharat. So my God. So is also Ukraine funding its own killing? Then Mr. Trump, 145% tariff on Ukraine. So are you going to crucify Zelensky? Are you going to hang him? Because as per the data, the biggest supplier of diesel to Ukraine is Bharat. And this diesel is used by Ukrainian army. This is used by Ukrainian troops to carry on whatever they are doing with their wars or whatever. That's enough of business. So what is the tariff on Ukraine? So are we now also funding Ukraine machinery? Or is Ukraine funding its own war machinery by buying crude from us, which we buy from Russia? By that logic,
it gets more interesting. Swamiji, it gets more interesting. Pakistan, it is believed, have sold their entire arms and ammunition to Ukraine.
to Ukraine. तो अब इसका क्या बोलो? How are you going to counter this, Mr. Trump? Because
it's getting to the ludicrous point right now as to why they are trying to, why the Trump administration is taking pot shots at India. Sumiji, we have two more topics to cover. I know we can do more and we can make more fun of this. The reality is India will shape up 50% or not. And I think it will emerge stronger, in my opinion, because India is a crisis-driven society. Once they realize there's a crisis, everybody, kas ke pakad ke, Sina Tankar, everybody will do work. So that's what I think is going to happen. If you don't mind, Sergi, let's go to the second topic. We have two more big topics to cover. Our favorite, Pakistan being last.
Yeah, and let me tell you, the economic, the senior most economic advisor to the government of India has just told, with the cut of the GST, which is likely to come in at the time of Diwali and all, we are 99% most likely, almost sure to sail through it. And if you look at our quarter projections numbers, the quarterly results came up, we did much better. We're at 7.1 or 7.5%. So our numbers were much better than expected when the quarterly numbers came in, and we are going to sail through the storm. Now, second thing is SCO, Modi, Putin, and Xi. Modi has kind of landed in Tanzania. Now, tomorrow we'll have a bilateral between Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping, and there'll be a meeting with Mr. Putin also. Now, what is happening in SCO? SCO has become relevant and the most happening geopolitical hotspot because of what Trump has done. SCO has got relevance because of exactly what Trump has done. And now, if I look at RIC, Russia, India, China, now the ceremonial coming together is a big message. Though Putin is going to stay back till 3rd September. 3rd September, they have this marching parade where they're going to show this YJ 15, 17, 19, and 20 to Americans. Though they requested Prime Minister Modi, but
pre-filled with water? Are they pre-filled with water? Are they pre-filled with water?
I think this time it will be olive oil. Looks better. Water lies. Olive oil doesn't dry in the sun. So olive oil is better. Now, these are the missiles which they are going to show. Anyway, Putin is going to be there. Kim is going to be there. Kim Jong-un is going to be there. They wanted Modi ji to stay. He said, no, I'm not interested. I'm going back. Now, if you look at this, what is happening in Tanzania, let's not fool ourselves. China is not an alternate to the crisis. Internal economy is an alternate to the crisis. China is warming up, but we have a trade deficit of $98 billion with China. $98 billion with China. China is an export-oriented economy. China may buy a little things more from you. You might have those flights resumed, some things and all. Though Jefferies in their report warned that India and China are coming together, that is not good news for America because India and Russia are already together. If China comes in, there's a big problem for you. Now we have seen that there are a lot of bilaterals which are held right now in Tanzania, which are against the interest of India. Like, for example, Shabazz meeting Xi, Nepalese meeting Xi. I mean, there are Bangladeshis meeting Xi Jinping. We know these all bilaterals which are happening like this. They are not in the best interest of India, and India will not be, India will not be what will be. India will be at the center of all this discourse. We know what is happening there. Has the relations changed? No. There is a will. There is an intention to make the relations better. There is a need to make the relations better. But how far can we go? If you ask me, my expectations out of it, maybe 5 to 10%. Is it an alternate to what it is happening? No, but for optics, but for but for optics point of view, it is good. And the biggest problem, what I'm realizing, that's my personal opinion, is that I thought China is worse and US is better, but I'm realizing that US is marginally better than China. It's not a lot of difference. I mean, gone are those days of 7th Fleet and all, but what we are going through right now is again that kind of fiasco. Now, Modi ji got a very good reception and all that, that's pretty fine. But there are a lot of things going in the China which are not in the best interest of India. And let me remind you, when Wang Yi came here for the SR, Special Representative meeting 24th, And he met Modi ji, he met Jaishankar Saab, he met Ajay Doval Saab. Wengi was first in Afghanistan, where he had Pakistanis going there, and they had some kind of a trilateral. Then he stopped by Pakistan. He met Shahbaz, he met failed field marshal, and after the meeting failed field marshal, he came to Delhi. So if you think Chinese are going to put their cards even, Chinese are very fair with us. They are not. They cannot be. There is an existential problem between us and China. How much of can you import to China? You can import another $5-10 billion. That will not help a lot of things. If you will still have a trade deficit of $90 billion. But are we at a reconciliatory pitch? Yes. Are we willing to talk? Yes, we are willing to talk. Are we willing to consider? Yes, we are willing to consider. Is the deadlock broken? Yes, the deadlock is broken. Modi ji is there after 7 years. And how do you look at it? I look at it this way. Look, it's a matter of 15 or 18 months. Bharat will be the third largest economy if we don't have major political headwinds. 15 to 18 months. I'm giving you a commitment on people. This is the time. Now, if I look at a bilateral between Xi Jinping and Modi ji, it is as good as it is bilateral is between the second biggest economy and third biggest economy. And by next 12 and 14 years, I think we are even going to take on America to become the second largest economy by PPP, which is America today. Will take it over in the next 10 to 12 years. Worst case, 14 years. So even if I look at this bilateral, it is between the second biggest economy and the third biggest economy. That is Modi and Xi Jinping, right? It is as important as a bilateral between first and third. That would have been Trump and Modi. So this bilateral, from a geopolitical point of view, from a geopolitical prism, is not something what we say jisko halke mein le sakte, which we can take lightly. We can't be taking it lightly and thinking this is nothing happening. Can you trust China? Well, my assessment is no. Has China changed a bit? Yes, China has changed a bit because that is the compulsion. Because we have been talking about in our endgame series that the Chinese Communist Party is in existential crisis. There are already plans being worked out that if China is, how will the China look without Chinese Communist Party, and what will be the role of America? Has already a plan in place. I think Bharat and Russia are also working together and trying to have a plan that we don't want a CIA here. We don't want Americans controlling China if there is no Chinese Communist Party. And let me tell you another thing. Do you think the border LAC dispute with China will ever settle? It will never settle because China doesn't want it to settle. They had a border issues with Russia. They settled that part of the border, but they don't want to settle this part of the border. It's also China. So are we expecting too much? Have we found a magical barn, a magical arrow? No, there's no magical arrow. We are not expecting too much, but the need of the hour is that RIC as a concept should emerge. A bipolar world should emerge. A lot of people have a contrarian view. I've been talking to a lot of people, and the contrarian view is as follows. They believe, look, Sumit, UN is, by the way, UN Secretary General has met Xi Jinping, and he's saying we'll work very closely with China to make a world order more stable and more sustainable. I don't know what the hell is he going to talk and work with China. But the contrarian thought is WHO, United Nations, all these organizations which are old, which are kind of which have overlived their utility, they are breaking. So is Trump kind of helping a global reset by shaking everything? He has taken on all the allies. He has taken on all the NATO countries. He has taken the world's largest democracy. He has taken the world's biggest autocracies, China and Russia. He has done every possible thing. And with today's tariff ban and all, which he kind of said that we must be heading to the Great Depression of 1930s. So is Trump trying to reset the world order? Does this world order need a reset? Do we still need to be under, subservient to Americans' whims and fancies? No. And I've been telling you one point. Let's say, look, the world order is changing. Why, Sumit? I have been making one point very clearly. Within Western Europe, there'll be resentment against America. Didn't I say that? No, not. I said that. Now, what is the proof? Proof is, few hours back, Keir Starmer, I think, and Macron and German Chancellor, they did a joint press conference. And the press conference said that, Trump had warned them, don't put tariffs on the American tech. We will retaliate. They had said that whatever the decisions Europe will take, that will be entirely determined by Europe. Europe is not going to take dictations from Washington, D.C. Whatever the tariffs, our structure is, it will be decided by Europe. It will be determined by Europe. It is within our rights to whom do we want to tax, whom we do not want to tax. That is a direct defiance to the Trump's threats, which he issued not more than 48 hours back. So now all the three guys coming together and doing a press conference means a lot. So even within the Western Europe, there are cracks. I have already told you Germany has refused to pay for Ukraine's security. And with all those things happening and then those developments happening, there are cracks which have emerged there as well. And these are people coming and directly defying them. Now, logically, Trump has a trade deal with EU. If there's a trade deal with EU, what are these additional tariffs about? So, the problem is that you cannot have these tariffs. And even in today's court ruling, the main point is that you can, as a president, you have the power to put this much of tariff. But if you want to put this much of tariff and you want to change them every day, like the soup of the day, you want to make them like commodity trading, what is the current bhav or what is the current prevailing price? That won't happen today, 25, tomorrow, 50. It is not how it will happen. So that is where even the courts have seemed to have a serious problem with the tariff. Now, our bone of contention with US, which I've been telling you, was if there's a tariff of 25%, khatam. Then you can't tell me, if you go to BRICS, 10%, if you buy Su-57, another 20%. If you don't sell diesel to Ukraine, 10%. If you sell diesel to Russia, another 7%. You can't have. I mean, today, if you have a trade deal with EU, why are you threatening them with the tariffs? Let them put a tariff on American tech or not. That's entirely their call. So this is where the bone of contention is. Over to you, sir. I wanted to.
Sumitji, just wanted to update our viewers. At 10 p.m. IST, we're going to have a detailed, maybe 10-minute stuff on this exact ruling of the appeals court. What exactly does that mean? And what are the pros and cons on that? So please come back and listen to that one. Sumitji, maybe we can go on to the third topic, your favorite country.
Yeah, Pakistan. Okay. So this is about the SCO. So let's not have, I'll conclude in a minute. Let's not have high hopes. There is something we want to reconcile. There's something we want to do. Russia is a good friend. But how much can we really bank on China? Because I can tell you one thing. If Trump tomorrow says no tariff on China, China will make a U-turn like this. Essay. China will make a U-turn. So I'll not bet my money on China, but whatever the government of India is doing is right, because that is the need of the hour. Everybody is posturing. And if I look at Scott Bessent and everybody, they are already talking of reconciliatory tones. If I look at JD Vance saying that, if Trump is not in the power, I'm ready to take on the throne. What does that tell you? There are a lot of bruises on Trump's hands. There are a lot of black spots which are seen. A lot of people are believing and they have a strong opinion he's not in the best of health. Now, JD Vance.
To quell all rumors, Sumiji, to quell all rumors, he was seen golfing today. He specifically came out to golf. Just saw all the story about he's dead, he's this, he's that. Guys, over to you.
So I'm not saying, at this age you can have problems which might not impact your daily, life, but they might impact you in the long run. So, when Vance says I'm ready to take over, why does Vance need to say that? Logically, you say, what is the need for me to take over? Yeah, why should I answer a hypothetical question? He could have answered like that way, but he chose to answer, no, I'm kind of ready to take over. I think in politics, everything means something. Though it might not kind of stop him from doing his daily job, but if the things are not pretty good, things can be a bit tricky. So that is on it. So that's on how the things are going to go down. Now, Pakistan. Now, will these all alignments and disalignments happening? Pakistan is the one who is irked. Pakistan is the one who is fuming. Why? Because Pakistan is seeing that I am losing two papas. One papa is America, who is kind of not interested in me. Another papa, China, is cozying up to Modi. So Russia was never my sugar daddy. Israel was never my sugar daddy. I have only two. One is America and one is... Kuch keh rahe the?
Sumitji, you always put songs in my mouth. You not only put words in my mouth, you put songs also in my mouth. Remember that movie, guys, Qayamat se Qayamat tak? The boy starts singing, Papa कहते हैं, बड़ा नाम करेगा. यहाँ पर ऐसा है, पापा कहते हैं, बदनाम करेगा.
So, when all this is happening, Pakistan was like, what the hell? Ye kya ho gaya? I mean, America is not interested in me, and the China is cozying up to Bharat. Where will I go? Where will I get weapons? What the hell am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Now, Ishaq Dar suddenly comes up and opens a Pandora's box today. He says, we are ready to talks with the Bharat, right? But we should have the dignity, we should have that respect and all that. Now, why does Ishaq Dar need to talk it now? It's exactly a couple of hours when Modi ji starts from Japan and before he lands in China, Somewhere between that and around that time, he kind of says this. Why? Because when Modi ji lands in China, then he has given China an ammunition. Look, sir, Pakistan, Modi ji is willing to talk, sir. These boys are willing to talk. Why don't you talk? And he is talking about that. There's a term which was coined by Musharraf. I can't remember the term. The term is that whatever. Basically, what does it mean? Musharraf say composite dialogue. Sorry, composite dialogue. Now, what is composite dialogue and what is non-composite dialogue? I have to tell you that. Pakistan was saying, we want to talk to you. What do we want to talk to you? Kashmir. India says, I have nothing to talk to you. I want to talk to you. When are you leaving POJ? Khatam. Itni baat karo. Right? Now, what is the composite dialogue? Composite dialogue was a process started by Musharraf. In composite dialogue, there are 8 baskets or 8 areas or 8, these kind of types of disputes we have. One of them is Kashmir. So when you talk of a composite dialogue, you are not limiting the dialogue to Kashmir. You are saying there are many problems and Kashmir is one of them. So earlier discussion was about Kashmir. Now they have changed the stand composite dialogue. And you know that composite dialogue on all is crap. It didn't yield any results at the time of Musharraf. Neither it's going to yield now. Now what does Pakistan want to say? Pakistan wants to be seen as a player because there's a bilateral which is supposed to happen between Xi and Shahbaz. There's a bilateral between Xi and Bangladesh. There are a lot of these bilaterals which are not in the complete interest of India. And in these bilaterals, just before the right time, they have tried to open this composite dialogue. Okay, let's not only talk Kashmir. Well, what is the position of China? Let's keep the LAC aside and let's keep on increasing the trade. Let's open new trade routes. The flights are starting and all. So Pakistan is exactly doing the same thing. Let's have this composite dialogue wherein we will not only talk Kashmir, we'll talk a hell lot of things. That will be Indus water, that will be opening traders, that will be people-to-people contact. So you're not giving visas. And of course, Kashmir remains the problem. I am seeing composite dialogue is something either Pakistan has stolen from the Chinese playbook or Chinese stole from the Pakistan's playbook. Because we keep the fundamental issue parked and let's talk about some peripheral issues. Let me throw 8 balls to you. Let me agree on 2 balls and we can say, look, we have been having great negotiation and discussions and there's some agreements and there are some agreements which did not and it's work in progress. So I'll keep on supporting my terror. I'll keep on supporting jihad. And in the meanwhile, you'll be happy that we have resolved some issues and the things are going on. And, unfortunately, in some of the diplomacy, these things are seen okay because they will say, okay, I have this mountain to climb, I have climbed this much. Okay, this much remains, that's okay. I'll climb in due course of time. So that is the game Pakistan is trying to play. Second thing, by exactly trying to put in a word like this, what is going to happen? Look, Pakistan is an irrelevant force. Pakistan is a lost force, is a spent force. Like by giving these statements, Pakistan is trying to get back into the big boy games. Pakistan is trying to getting some light on the geopolitical events. Pakistan is trying to project itself in the player in the big boys league because the light will be stolen by IRIC, Russia, India, China. So when this kind of formation is happening, when Eurasian politics is emerging, when a Eurasian dominated world order seems to be evolving, and now I have to tell you now there are people who will be really contemplating and talking about this de-dollarization. Somewhere down the line, even this de-dollarization will start cropping up here and there. And there are a lot of countries which are in SCO. I think this is 24th or 26th SCO meet. This is one of the most powerful meets since the SCO has started. This is the most powerful meet now because all credit goes to Trump for making it the most important geopolitical event. And there it used to be G7 or G20 or things like that. Now it is SCO because of the Trump. Now, Pakistan wants to get in. Pakistan wants to give us intention. Pakistan needs water. Pakistan cannot fight Bharat. Pakistan doesn't have economy, doesn't have military. Pakistan as a country has no existence to fight Bharat. And with American hands kind of getting off them, Chinese not interested. Because I'll tell you why. Because Shahbaz wanted to talk to Xi about the CPEC 2. But what we are coming to know is that Chinese have told them the Chinese power companies which are operating in Pakistan, they have not been paid dues. Last time, when was the money paid, sir? The money was paid when Pakistan took a loan from Chinese. A part of that loan was already given as power dues to them. Let's say they took $1 billion. 200 million went directly to the Chinese company. They got their power dues and rest went to the Pakistan after deducting their first couple of installments. So they are like traditional money launderers. They deduct first couple of installments and give them the money. Now this time, when they went for CPEC 2, the Chinese are very clear the dues of our companies, pay us what is due, then we'll talk about CPEC 2. So CPEC 2 may or may not happen, and Shahbaz knows if there is no CPEC 2, I have no relevance. Then why not? Why doesn't then China directly talk to Munir? And in the meanwhile, there has been one troubling development, which is very relevant here, is that what is his name? Kya naam hai uska? Bangladesh, Wakrul Zaman, army chief. Wakrul Zaman had been to China a couple of days back. Now, Wakrul Zaman going to China is an important development, because China has not been only trying to hook Asim Munir now, they're also trying to hook Wakrul Zaman now. So Wakrul Zaman had not been to China recently, but he has now recently been, I think around 1 week or so back, he has been to China, which kind of takes the paradigms of security into a different level. So you are having a trilateral Afghanistan, Pakistan in Kabul, then you are going to Kabul, then you want to do something with Bangladeshis, then you want to do something with Pakistanis, you're having some meeting with Maldivians, and with all those things going on, you're still trying to get into the China. And with all those things going on, now you also want to have a meeting with Modi ji and try to get best of the deal. Well, that is not happening. What Pakistan is doing, Pakistan doesn't want to be left out. Pakistan wants to be the biggest nuisance still, because being a nuisance pays him off, and he wants to, by giving these statements and at the big boys club, look, I'm also somebody important in the region. I'm somebody kind of, kind of somebody which is very, very important here in the region. Look, Pakistan doesn't have oil, we know that. And Rico Deck and all, it's kind of, sir, we have done the assessment. It is 2 billion. Whatever is there is for 40 years. Once you look at the numbers, Pakistan will get 1 to 2 billion per year. And that too, if you can go and pull it out for next 40 years, that too, if the Balochis will allow you to put, that too, if you have the infrastructure and power to put it, that too, when you have the region in the area. And if there was potential in the mines from 1903 to today is 2025, in last 32 years, you have not been, why have been sting on your ass? You could have gone and pulled out everything what was in those mines. So practically, there is something in the mines, but feasibly, how feasible it is and what is the money Pakistan is going to get is nothing except, crap, what they deserve. And does Pakistan have 40 years? Pakistan doesn't have 40 years. There will be no Pakistan for 40 years. And mines are in Balochistan, which is not Baap Ka Zameen of Pakistan. It's a different country, it's a different ethnicity. So I don't know why Pakistanis are happy about the Rico Deck and all, why they're inventing the whole. You wanted to make a point, sir. You're on mute, sir. Saji, mute. Mute.
Thank you. When you are mentioning about the Bangladesh army chief going to China, and this is all things to irritate India, right? Modi hasn't been keeping quiet either. He has sided with Japan in one of their conflicts against China.
Correct.
Very so, right. I mean, these are all things where, okay, you say this, I'll say this. So, he's up barabar at the end of the day. Back to you. Saji, if you could wrap up, then we can go to Q&A.
Sure. I mean, if you look at these developments, the things are moving very fast pace. Pakistan is just trying to take limelight. मतलब ना, इसे हिंदी में कहते हैं, when there's a shadi of some bada aadmi happening in your mohalla pados, you know what do? You go there and try to click a photo, and all the VIPs are coming, say, hey, selfie le. Is what Pakistan is doing. Or you go to one of those high-profile marriages, there's a posh, somebody is there. You go and stand and take a picture and hide the number plate. How do people know it's your Porsche? Put it on your Facebook. People will think your friends in the world will say, Porsche, good, blue color looks sensational. But how does he know it has come to the Bados ki shadi? You just went there with your phone and clicked a picture. That is what bloody Pakistan is trying to do, trying to be relevant in today's world where the things are changing faster. I think the only euthanasia of Pakistan is to break it into 4 parts and break it ASAP. Munir or no Munir cannot save it. I am now increasingly convinced Trump inviting Munir and trying to do something with is to cover a bigger cover-up. There's a very, very big cover-up which they are trying to kind of conceal, which they are trying to cover up. There is no reason for Munir to be there as his failed field marshal. That is what he's trying to make him a hero. And by the way, Munir was the first person who said, this Trump should get a Nobel Prize because he mediated, was very instrumental in ceasefire. So he settles Trump's personal agenda, and there is something they are covering up there. There's something they are jointly trying to cover up there. But the time will tell what they are trying to cover up there, what embarrassment they are trying to hide. I mean, Pakistanis have no izzat. This doesn't matter with Pakistanis. But what is the embarrassment United States of America Trump is trying to hide? I think if I want to sum, my last sentence will be, Trump is the king of misplaced priorities. He's the white rabbit in the Alice in Wonderland.
Thank you so much. And let's take a few questions now.
Arey Salim, hi, don't worry. We are not jealous of Pakistan. We are telling you how much is your औकात. हिंदी में मतलब तुम्हारी औकात क्या है यार? तुम वो कहते हैं ना, I will repeat a Bollywood dialogue. सतीश कौशिक जी सेंस में. तुम हो दूध का फटेला हिस्सा, शमशान का बुझेला कोयला. तुम वो हो. तुम अगर इंग्लिश में एक वर्ड होते तुम्हारे लिए, कहते क्रोशिट. क्रोशिट पता क्या होता? कौवे की वो हो तुम. तो भैया तुम काहे को इसमें पढ़ रहे हो? बड़े लोगों का समारोह है यार. यहाँ बड़े बड़े लोग आते, तुम्हें वो जाके साला पड़ोस की शादी में फोटो खिंचवाने जा रहे हो. I would have loved if this was in Hindi. I could have ensured Salim properly, but also, English doesn't give a lot of liberty to grow to those limits of expression.
Varga wants to know, this is for me, Sumiji, is there no Batman in USA to take on the Joker Zelensky and solve and save Ukraine from Tarzan attacks of Putin? Varga ji, if you want the latest update on this, very, very objective, is Trump the new Conan the Barbarian on tariffs? No, I think there's a miscalculation there. I'll come to that in just a moment. First of all, about Ukraine, there was an update yesterday with Utsav Chakrabarti. Do watch that one because it's very, very close, and it talks to even at city levels how close Russia is to getting much of Donbass. Take a look at that to give you a full idea. Putin has not changed his stance. If they had, actually you should watch that program because I asked all difficult questions of Utsav. He came through with wonderful answers. Do watch that. As far as Conan the Barbarian on tariffs, I don't think so. He tried a few things that has not worked with India. Now Japan is also reneging, and many other countries also are probably not going to toe the ball. And there is also the bigger picture about whether this tariff formulas that he is putting out, will it hold up in court? And the appeals court has certainly said no. What happens next? We will discuss at 10 p.m. IST. So let's go to the next question, please. Kalyana Raman, I don't know, Mandruvan or something like that. Sorry about that. Who's the present deep state in USA? What are the immediate ambitions in the state and the world? Well, according to me, the big tech was trying to become the new deep state. And you saw how Elon Musk came close, but now he is completely 180 degrees away. So these things, there'll be hits and misses. Deep state is deep state. These are people who have stakes for a long time, and there is a certain status quo. They get a cut in everything, like I used to tell you, right? Why petrodollar is so important? Because Houston makes its money from that. Every country-to-country petrol deal is done in dollars, and the whole thing is blessed by Houston, and they get a cut out of it. So that's how deep state is too. They like to get these cuts because they don't have to do any work for it. They just have to make sure that the lines and the rules are being followed the same way as they were for many, many generations. That's it. Take a look at UK Parliament, viewers. Next time you have a UK Parliament session, take a look at it. There is a speaker, and above him, there is another guy. Find out who that is. Over to you.
No, you are absolutely right. I mean, there are people who have big interests, and I've been talking and telling you there's a lot of pressure from big tech coming on, and big of those American giants, which is coming on, even Scott Bessent and Donald Trump, because, look at people like BlackRock who have asset management of $15 trillion under them. Our GDP is 4.2 trillion. Look at $15 trillion figure. And do you think they have no stakes? They don't want this all to happen? They want this all to stop. They want this madness to end because it's not good for their business. And if I am carrying $15 trillion, my gain might be this, but my losses can perish me, can bury me for good. So these people have a lot of stakes in the game, and this arbitrary tariffs, this soup of the day foreign policy is really, really hurting business now very much. Uncertainty is not good for business, especially for financial businesses.
Next one, Milban Cherian wants to know, why do the big newspapers always write only negative articles about Trump? Surely the Trump administration is aware of these articles.
I mean, it's not a question of why do the big newspapers write always that, sir. The question is that this is exactly what he's doing. Look, for example, he said, Marco Rubio says, I want to get these 277,000 Chinese out of America because they're intellectual moles. They're stealing the technology from here. Good. Now, 2 days after, or 1 week or 10 days after, Trump says, I want to give 600,000 Chinese students here. When the MAGA, by the way, what does MAGA mean? MAGA is not make America great again. It means make America Garib again. So that is the new name of MAGA. So now these MAGA supporters and all the right wingers started climbing up. What the hell is happening? Is our universities for Chinese? Then you said, okay, 15% of our universities will close if we don't have Chinese students coming. That didn't go well. Then Caroline Levitt next day comes and says, oh, was not for 1 year. Trump mentioned it for 2 years. Now when these kind of absurd things start coming up, when our number of 927 billion euros, India only paid 121 for 13% have been crucified. The people who paid 87%, they are let go. So there are a lot of things which have come up in the open and people have started questioning him. Even the courts have been not kind with Trump because he is acting as that emperor. He's not acting as president. There are some powers which every post gives you. But power doesn't mean unilateralism. Power doesn't mean anarchy. That is what we have to all understand.
Next one, Sanjay wants to know, Sumiji, it was at Modi ji's Kanyakumari last phase of 2024 elections of Varanasi, Lord Mahakal and Ma Parvati made Psycho, POTUS and Navarro to post this to spread strong Sanatana Dharma. Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible. I agree with your thought, Dr. Sanjay, and I know, you're a very devout person, Sanjay ji, and so this is quite possible because at the end of the day, if you post all this, a lot of people are going to be inquisitive. What does the Tribune do? If they realize ashes to ashes, one line, a lot of things in their life changes. It's one line, ashes to ashes. This is what we mean by putting a vibhuti on our forehead. If they realize the power of Sanatan Dharma and the old concepts, their heads will be blown off, I'm telling you. A lot of things which will change in the world permanently. So I agree to you, it's not too bad. But it talks about their bias. It talks about the venom in their blood. It talks about that preconceived notions they have. That is what we are trying to highlight, sir.
Next one, please. One OENA Ishwar, one Ishwar, I think. Socialists cheer socialism on someone else's dime. Nordics ride oil waves. French plunder Africa. Brits host FATF's rogue headquarters. And DJT cosplays Napoleon with a tariff fueling DIY industry. Interesting observation. Next one.
It's interesting observation. Good one, I would say.
Vaneshwar again, thank you so much. DJT is a force of nature, mashup of Nero, Napoleon, and Tughlaq watching USA backslide while sparking global innovation with wild, unreasonable demands.
You see, my brother, doesn't I tell you there's a contrarian thought, there's a global reset needed, and Trump is the catalyst of that thing. That a lot of people are talking that, this United Nations, WTO, and all, they've all become outdated. And, so Trump is trying to mess up with everybody and anybody in the world. It's like that Samudra Manthan. You have to, is that the Parbat which was used for Samudra Manthan, right? So you have to have somebody who will come and, reset everything. He has not left NATO partners, his allies, his neighbors, European
Very secular that way.
Kisi ko nahi choda. Nobody. He has left nobody.
Next one, please. Atul wants to know, Sumit sir, you were vehemently criticizing strategic autonomy in our foreign policy, which to me is materializing, albeit in different shade. What do you and Sriji think on this?
You see, foreign policy and strategic autonomy is fine. Look, we are saying that strategic autonomy should not be at the cost of countries' interests. Bharat has been traditionally non-aligned and we gain nothing out of that. Now we have alignments. We have an alignments. Strategic foreign policy is good for non-interference, but strategic foreign policy doesn't mean that we don't align because we don't want to align. Today we are aligned to Russia. Today we are aligning to China. We are kind of cozying up to China. So this is where we meant. We have to kindly do whatever is in the huge supreme national interest. You can't say, "Bhai, hum kisi ke saath nahi." There's a tendency, "Hum kisi ke saath nahi." That is the context we are talking for. Do whatever, and I mean very categoric in that, sir. Do whatever is in the supreme national interest. If you want to, even when they say which plane should we buy, I say let the Air Force decide which is the best plane they want to buy. They want one Russian, you want to buy American, you want to buy, whatever. You want to buy French, go and do it. So if India today wants to align with Russia and China, if it is as a national interest, good. If tomorrow you want to align back with America, you may think it makes more sense. Why not? Because foreign policy should be driven by supreme national interest. But you can't say, because I don't want to align, I have been traditionally non-aligned, so my strategic autonomy means मैं किसी के साथ नहीं हूँ. I'm an entity of my own. Well, that doesn't work in today's world, sir.
Next one, please. Chaitanya wants to know, will this deal with China strengthen BRICS?
If there is something substantial which is announced tomorrow, that will definitely strengthen BRICS. But what is the chance? I don't have a lot of high hopes on that. But if something is big comes up, that will definitely strengthen BRICS, and that will irk Trump to the core. You can see Trump going crazy after that.
Millets wants to know, sir, I am regular consumer of your content and your combo rocks. What if Pakistan sell Gilgit-Baltistan to China?
China
all
will
these things, right?
will not
Go
be-
ahead, you say it.
Mere bhai, China will not be willing to buy it now. There's a lot of trouble brewing for China. They don't want to take one more panga. And China is a very smart player. China will keep Pakistan, it's like a mad dog, Pakistan. Huh? Just give him that half a roti per day so that he doesn't die. Half a roti per day and give him a piece of meat. He doesn't die. You don't want to ease their problems. You will not give them money. If they get a lot of money, why should they tomorrow listen to you? One day they will come after you. They say we want to do jihad in Xinjiang. Do you think if somebody gives enough money to Pakistan, take my word, sir, they will one day say we want to do jihad in Xinjiang. Musalmano ke saath bura ho raha wahan pe. They are in business of jihad. Na? They need reason to do this, run this business. How the hell does a gun manufacturer care who dies? Because every time you manufacture a gun, somebody is going to die because of that. But you don't care. You are in the business of manufacturing guns. Pakistan is exactly like that. They are in paid jihad. How does it matter who lives or dies? As long as you have the money to support it, they will do it.
Krishna Kishore wants to know, Venezuela is hit for China, Payrik, I don't know what that means. Russia is hit for Indian oil import. So it's trashing next two countries compete USA?
They are hitting 4 countries, sir. I mean, very categorically, India, China, European Union, and which was the fourth, India, China, European Union, and Russia. If you look at Trump, he was trying to hit all the 4. Because at the end of the day, Ukraine war is between Putin and Russia is a direct threat. So European Union, Putin is under control. China, through Pakistan and Bharat, you're trying to control all the 4 your rivals. There are only 4 rivals who are rivals of United States of America. Okay, the positions may vary from 1 to 4, but these are the only 4 rivals. Name me the 5th rival they have. They don't have any 5th rival who can really come after them.
Next one, please. Dilip wants to know, with more than 800 military bases outside USA and more than 200 billion in cost, can America bear this cost?
Right now they can. There's not a problem. Right now they can. But in the long run,
when they withdrew out of Afghanistan, right? It didn't matter which government was in power. Both wanted out because the cost was just getting too much. Okay.
And they let Bagram to Chinese. And they left a lot of big weapons to Pakistanis and the Taliban. But the question here is, sir, it's not a question of having bases. Do you have an effective management to counter that? Yesterday, it's not a part of our topic. Yesterday, look at how Russians drowned that ship in Ukraine. It was 200 miles inside Ukraine in a river. What the hell of a technology do they have? Was it the Poseidon which was used first time? Because it's not a typical USV. Because I know the Katan doesn't have that much of range and it works on radio relays. It can't go 200 kilometers.
It was an unmanned boat that they navigated. It was an unmanned boat.
Sir, that is a USV, right? But Russian USV, the best I know is Katan, the latest. The Katan works on radio relays. It cannot go 200 kilometers inside Ukraine because it's very prone to jamming and all, right? And how will you find those relay stations inside Ukraine? The nearest controlled coast is 200 kilometers away. This shocked the ship like this. Gadam. What the hell was that? We don't know. And Russians are completely silent on that. I've been trying to get even one piece of information. What the hell? My assessment, it is not Qatar. I don't know what that is. Because the signature, the hit, the drowning is not Qatar. Was it Poseidon which was used? Or they have developed something which is a kind of a nuclear powered USV? I don't know. But it does not look their utmost technology Qatar. Like Ukraine has that Sea Baby and others. You look at the patterns of Sea Baby. We know this is Sea Baby. But even nobody, Pentagon, Russia, anybody is not talking what was that hit about. Sir, ship aise cut. It was the biggest naval ship they had ever built. So how did it disappear like this? So we don't know, sir, what they are building. So the technology is changing the paradigms very soon. It doesn't matter how many bases you have. At times it will matter what technology you have.
Naresh wants to know, per President Trump's tariffs are like random number generator. Don't you agree?
This is like super per day. Okay, 25, 25, 25, acha, 50, 50, 75, so. It looked like, I watched that movie Guru of Abhishek Bachchan. He used to be a stockbroker, and they used to hold to that, that rosier, that rope, and they used to put a bidding, something like that. That is what even the lot of people are pissed about. If the point I brought in the conversation with Sri Ayerji was that why does Macron and Keir Starmer and Merck need to get together to do this press conference? Because they want to tell you we're not scared. We don't bother, man. It's our territory. We'll decide what is the tariff we'll put. You are nobody to tell me what tariff to put or not to put. I mean, we have settled with you. Our deal is done with you. You can't come and interfere with everything. Right? That was the idea of trade deal. Bhaiya, whatever, 10, 15, 20% done. Okay, gone. But now if you want to tell me, okay, you wear black jacket, okay, 5%. Tomorrow wear white. White today. You didn't wear blue. Shri 5%. Blue is not acceptable. What the hell? This is completely atrocious.
These are questions from our app. Do send your questions through app. You can see that the questions read much better. No mistakes because of hurry typing on phones. So Rohit Kal wants to know, do you think India's neutral stance will change due to recent US comments on India? Will India lean towards Russia and China, block forever? I don't think so.
India has been always leaning on Russia, but not China forever. China will be super transitional. Unfortunately, I with a heavy stone on my heart, I made a statement today. I always thought that America is much better than China, but now what Trump has done, it looks to me America is marginally better than China, but there's a silver lining here. Imagine Trump goes out of the gear. America can change completely. China will not change even if Xi Jinping is gone. 10 to 15%, not more than that. Here the American stance can change by 80%. But the Chinese stance, worst case if you pull it, even Xi Jinping is gone, 15%. That is where the difference is.
Viewers, download our app, and right on the landing page you have submit questions, and you can have the nice hashtag to whom you are submitting, and it calibrates the text very nicely. I would urge you to do this. It's a simple free download, PGuru's app. Do get it from either App Store for iPhone or from Google Play from Google. Gitanjali wants to know, Russia can raise the price of gas supplied to Europe to counter their Russian oil hypocrisy and support India's strong stand. No, they cannot.
No,
There's a cap that is there. Yeah.
Gitanjali ji, a lot of people are missing. I think last time I made a point, and I think some people didn't get it. Let me try to make it in English. There are no sanctions, ma'am, on Russian oil. There is a cap. You have to buy it below 60 or 52 or 47, whatever the price is. Right now it's around 60. America did not put any sanctions on Russian oil, because if you put sanctions on Russian oil, nobody will be able to buy the Russian oil, and 99% will not be able to buy the Russian. What will happen? The crude prices in the world will reach $150 to $200 a barrel, and if it reaches, there will be immediate recession in America and all of Europe, guaranteed, immediate. So America,
even in India,
India will be impacted adversely. The point here is that your economies are growing at 1.2%. Europe and America. NATO wants to give 5%, and you want to put sanction on Russian oil, then you have to buy crude at $200 a barrel. So Middle East will be very rich, and the whole of the world will be getting poorer and poorer. That is why there are no sanctions on Russian oil. There's only a price cap. So that's why I dread Trump. If you have the courage, put the sanctions. They will end the whole story. You'll never put the sanctions on Russian oil. You'll only put the price cap. And India has been buying even below the price cap. Russians have been giving us another 7.5% discount, even below the price cap. If the price cap was 60, we're getting it around 55 or something. 53.5 or something. They were giving a 6-7% discount or something, even below that. We have never violated anything. That is important, Gitanjali ji, to understand. We have never violated anything.
And if Indians push really hard, right to all your members of parliament, maybe the petrol at the pump will reduce by 10 rupees. 10 rupees. At least you will get that much of reduction. Keep doing it though. Don't let go, because the cost of buying is going down.
Sir, we don't know. Modi ji is a man of surprises. I'm not saying it's happening, but I have got some wind somewhere. Petrol might come under GST. If it comes under GST, you will see a major fall. Or वो सबसे बड़ा दिवाली gift होगा.
I totally agree. See, the thing is, they have a good argument, right? If because right now petrol is not under GST, even if the center says reduce it, what happens is only BJP ruled states will have lesser costs. The other states will not do it. But if you bring it under GST, it's the same for everybody. I love that.
That
Next
is a
one.
possibility.
Yeah, Sarji, that's all we have. Thanks so much. And now let us take the Ashirwad of Mahadevji. Over to you, sir.
Sir, I have to request all our brothers and sisters, please like it, share it. It makes such a bring content. We are not getting that kind of attraction. I know the reasons are there. I know there's an ecosystem which doesn't want us to reach a lot of people. But you are our warriors. You are our people. You are our extended family who can make it happen. On that note, I really want you to like, share, subscribe. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press on the bell icon. Click on all the 4. It's very important that our message reaches all because it's in the supreme national interest. On that note, and with the assumption you're going to help us out on that, Bharat Mata ki jai, Vande Matram, Om Namah Parvati Pataya, Har 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 Mahadev.
Before we sign off, couple of things. Get your Sengol with the enclosure. You have the link. You have to get it from sriiyer.com. You know my name. Take out the space in between. Just put a .com and then you can get where you can get the Sengols. You can get it with enclosure, or you can just get the Sengol and fix it for your in your puja room. Do that, and also come back in 30 minutes. We're going to talk in a little bit of depth about the tariffs. Thanks once again, Sumitji. See you soon.
Namaskar, sir. Thank you.